From the very beginning of his presidency, Donald Trump has been running the largest pay-to-play scheme in the history of America, all designed to enrich.
Hi, I'm FM, and with me tonight,
I am Olu Crest. Good to be here with you, our lovely viewers.
if you enjoy fact-based political commentary with a little satire, be sure to follow and subscribe across all our platforms.
Welcome to Code Blue in America, the breaking news segment.
Today's headline: Trump and his son's possible corruption is becoming the talk of the town, even in some conservative circles. When allegations keep piling up, the real question becomes, who's protecting taxpayers?
So, Representative Hakeem Jeffries says Trump turned the White House into America's biggest pay-to-play operation, while accusing House Republicans of guarding the swamp instead of draining it.
House Republicans are not serious about rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse in the United States of America. You know why? Because the biggest fraud being perpetrated on the people of this country right now is coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. From the very beginning of his presidency, Donald Trump has been running the largest pay-to-play scheme in the history of America, all designed to enrich himself, his family, his friends, and his billionaire MAGA donors. The whole thing is out of control. And if House Republicans were actually serious about protecting taxpayer dollars, if they really wanted to drain the swamp, you know where they would start? At the White House, because that's the swamp in the United States of America.
That's quite the rebrand. The important part is this: allegations of corruption deserve evidence, investigations, and due process, not automatic cheers or automatic dismissal.
Public trust doesn't survive when accountability depends on whose jersey you're wearing. Now, if you thought that was the peak of Washington's political theater, buckle up.
Because the next clip asks an even stranger question. While everyone argues over the biggest scandals, what exactly are prosecutors spending their time on?
Today, a grand jury has returned a felony indictment against a defendant, David Hearn, for felony destruction of property, for which he faces 10 years in prison. The indictment is in response to an incident that occurred on June 19th of 2026, in which the defendant Hearn ripped a piece of recently installed sealant on the bottom of the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial. The evidence shows, and we will prove beyond a reasonable doubt, that Hearn willfully destroyed property at the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. This was a deliberate act to damage the reflecting pool at the National Mall that members of the National Park Service actually have worked hard to restore and have witnessed. By Hearn's own admission, on June 19th, he reached down into the pool. Our evidence further shows that the National Park Service employees observed Hearn actually forcefully and violently pulling up and removing the bottom liner with both hands. According to witnesses, Hearn damaged approximately 2 square feet of sealant from the bottom of the pool. A parks employee actually told Hearn to stop his behavior and stop what he was doing. Hearn reacted by shouting at that parks employee, saying that she cared too much about the reflecting pool, and why did she even care, since it wasn't her pool. Now, Mr. Hearn's behavior was characterized by witnesses as belligerent, rude, and disrespectful, according to National Park Service employees that witnessed the event. Now, let me talk a moment about those employees. Many of those employees have come from around the country because they are proud of this nation. They are proud of the 250th anniversary that we are about to experience. Many of them have decided to step away from their desks and to go outside and actually work next to the pool to witness what was going on as opposed to staying in a cool office. These are the witnesses that we're talking about in this case. These are the people who care about this particular monument and what is going on. They work long hours and they are tireless in their efforts, and they must be shown respect and not be treated with belligerence and with disrespect by those who seek to damage the very monuments that they are there to protect. And they certainly should not have to witness the damage done right in front of their faces. The United States Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia remains committed to protecting our national resources, our monuments, and our parks from vandals, and we are especially committed to doing so in advance of our 250th anniversary. And we have witnesses who are disinterested, who have no motive to lie, they have no agenda. They're just working there, and they are actually witnessing damage to a national monument. We're going to go forward. Now, my office reviews all citations. Everything that the police do in this jurisdiction is reviewed by my office. We review it. This is a case with tremendous evidence, and this is a case where the evidence dictates where we land. Next.
U.S. Attorney Bureau, there have been other people who have been arrested for incidents at the reflecting pool. Are you taking all of it to the grand jury?
It depends on the evidence that we have. We have about a half a dozen other cases. Some of them will be misdemeanors, and some of them could be less, like a violation. But we're reviewing every case based upon the evidence and reviewing all of the reports. And right now, it's about another half dozen misdemeanors. Yes, sir.
The president said that somebody took a box cutter and cut the reflecting pool. Is there any update to that case? Is there any evidence that you can point to as a follow-up?
You know, I was at the reflecting pool yesterday, and I think it's very sad. Someone intentionally did a tremendous amount of damage to the pool, and you can actually see where all the cutting is. They took a sharp object and cut for many feet along the pool.
Do you have pictures of that?
Well, when I file a charge, I'll be happy to show you a picture. All right? What I'm trying to do is we're trying to find out who did it. Okay? And until we get to that point, I'm not going to be able to, discuss anything more than there was tremendous damage that was caused. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. 4 years ago, we had that guy from Indiana who damaged the Washington Monument. He pled guilty and he was misdemeanor. What are you trying to do? Is send it like a strong message from now on who damaged and gonna get a big penalty, looks like?
We are in a lane where it depends on the evidence. If the damage can be repaired for less than $1,000, it's a misdemeanor. If it costs a lot more than $1,000, then we're at the felony level. It's up to the judge to decide what the sentence is after a jury looks at the case. My job is to look at the evidence and to bring it to a grand jury who agreed that this should be a felony based upon the evidence that they heard, and they returned a true bill that this person should be charged with this felony. One more.
Thank you for your time today. How do you square charging this alleged pool criminal when this is the same Justice Department that
already this is a problem.
Over 1,000 January 6th rioters who caused millions of dollars of damage?
Are you really talking about January 6th?
Yes.
I'm not. Okay, who's next? Not you. No. Yes, you again. Go ahead.
Could you please explain the bench warrant that was issued for his arrest? Is Mr. Hearn being arrested today?
Do we have a...
He's not.
Yeah, he's not being arrested. No. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No.
Superior versus...
Did the grand jury unanimously return the true bill?
I don't take a check of unanimous versus non-unanimous. And as soon as they give me a right to do that, I'd be happy to do that. But I don't have that right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great 4th.
So let me get this straight. Washington is drowning in ethics controversies, but suddenly we're starring in Law and Order Reflecting Pool Unit.
The optics are almost comedy by themselves. Prosecutors are expected to enforce the law wherever evidence leads. But when high-profile political investigations move slowly while comparatively minor cases grab headlines, people naturally question priorities.
That's exactly how confidence in the justice system starts to erode. And speaking of trust, the next allegation raises the stakes even higher.
Because if public money is involved, taxpayers deserve more than campaign slogans. They deserve answers backed by evidence.
America's 250th birthday is being run by a shadow company you've never heard of. Freedom 250 has raised millions of dollars. It's selling access to the president, and it won't tell you who's paying or where the money goes. This is how Trump hijacked America's birthday. By rewriting the rules to let the ultra-wealthy and politically connected take advantage of the American people. I'm Congressman Jared Huffman. I lead the Democrats on the House Natural Resources Committee. We've spent the past year trying to uncover the truth about what happened, and I want to walk you through exactly what we've found. So how did this private company end up running America's official 250th celebration, siphoning off millions of taxpayer dollars and harvesting Americans' personal data? Let's start at the beginning. In 2016, Congress did something rare. Republicans and Democrats came together and created a commission called America 250 to plan the 250th. They built it to be nonpartisan on purpose, so no president could ever make the country's birthday his own. The America 250 Commission was well underway to honor the anniversary with expertly planned festivals, activities, and unifying events to celebrate our country and its founding. Then, Donald Trump decided he wanted something different. He wanted a party he could use for his own personal, political, and financial gain. So first, he tried to take over America 250. His appointee to the commission teamed up with the Speaker of the House in an attempt to push 4 commissioners out of their seats and replace them with MAGA loyalists. When that didn't work, Trump created his own shadow entity to circumvent and supplant America 250. They call it Freedom 250. On paper, it's a shell company registered in Delaware through the same anonymous vendor the president uses for his other businesses. But this LLC is different. It was lodged inside the National Park Foundation, the charity that's funded our national parks for 50 years. Think about why you'd do that. As part of a charity, the LLC could take in huge sums of money without ever naming who or where it came from. This arrangement lets them sell access to the president, collect checks from anyone willing to pay, and keep every donor's name secret, all under the banner of a trusted American institution, the National Parks Foundation. Then they starved America 250. Congress had set aside $150 million to celebrate our 250th. The America 250 Commission was promised $100 million of that funding. But in November of 2025, the White House told the America 250 chairwoman she would only get $50 million. And in the months that followed, they whittled it down to just $25 million. The rest of the money was taken by Freedom 250. Between this and other redirected funds, hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars are now unaccounted for. Now follow the money, because this is where it gets worse. Freedom 250 went after the real commission's corporate sponsors, not just donations, but a quid pro quo of access to Trump in exchange for cash. Lockheed Martin, ExxonMobil, Chevron, MasterCard, United Airlines, United Health. Most of these corporations are lobbying and trying to win contracts from the same government that's now selling them special access. And as they wrote their checks to Freedom 250, the president was trading their stocks and posting their ticker symbols online to juice their values. Trump's cronies were then deployed across the globe to solicit money from foreign governments. The CEO of Freedom 250 flew to Davos, stood in front of a room of foreign governments and asked them, in his words, how they wanted to shape America's birthday. Foreign governments shaping our 250th. He called it marketing freedom. According to a whistleblower, not everyone who donated money to Freedom 250 knew that's what they were doing. Fundraisers misled donors who intended to support the America 250 Commission by giving them Freedom 250's banking information. And through this bait and switch, contributions meant for the nonpartisan birthday foundation were routed to Trump's shadow corporation instead. This is potential wire fraud. And Freedom 250 has been collecting more than money. Its website runs through a company owned by Brad Parscale, the president's longtime digital strategist. Every American who signs up for a free event, even the families who registered for the World Cup fan zone on the National Mall, hands over a name, a location, and a phone number that feeds straight into a political operation built to profile and target voters. Americans just wanting to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday are unknowingly signing up to potentially have their data harvested and added to Trump's campaign operation. While Trump and Freedom 250 are pretending this celebration is about America's history, they've been forcing public servants across the country to erase our country's real story from parks and public spaces. Park rangers were given marching orders to take down factual signs about slavery, climate change, and the forced removal of Native Americans. And in their place, Trump and his political allies have been pushing their sanitized and distorted version of history. They paid out 10 million taxpayer dollars for a fleet of trucks running PragerU videos and an AI-generated George Washington that tells school kids that their rights are a gift from God, something the real Washington never said. They're parading these proselytizing propaganda trucks in front of schools on your dime. They've turned what should be a non-political unifying celebration of America's 250th into a right-wing Christian battering ram aimed at breaking down what Thomas Jefferson called the wall of separation between church and state, enshrining their extreme version of Christianity as our de facto national religion. This agenda is not subtle. It fuses white Christian supremacist identity with history revisionism, insisting the nation's founding, its laws, and our fundamental rights are rooted in the Christian Bible rather than the revolutionary principle of self-government. Their own documents are littered with proof that for them, this anniversary is not actually about America. It's about promoting two things: Christian nationalism and Donald Trump. An internal playbook called for scripture readings and worship nights on the National Mall as official birthday programming. They peddled sponsorship packages and photo ops with Trump at $10 million a pop. A UFC ring was built on the south lawn of the White House, not for the 4th of July, but for the president's 80th birthday, with seats that ran $1.5 million and went to executives from the companies his government is supposed to regulate. They handed out contracts to Trump's closest allies, including Event Strategies, Inc., one of the masterminds who orchestrated the rallies surrounding the January 6th insurrection. For every fact we've unearthed in this investigation, we've had to fight to get it. The Republican majority in Congress has far more power than we do to demand answers, but instead of joining us in serious oversight, they've used their power to do the opposite. They've blocked our requests, shielded the individuals and entities involved, and refused to hold a single hearing on any of this. They are shielding bad actors instead of holding them accountable. So today, against the obstruction and resistance of our Republican colleagues, we are dragging this fiasco out of the shadows and shining a bright light on the corruption and fraud surrounding Freedom 250. America turns 250 years old only once. We should be celebrating this anniversary together with patriotism and integrity. This milestone was paid for by every generation that built this country. But Trump has tried to quietly steal it, warping it into a celebration for one man and weaponizing it to advance his own personal, political, and financial interests. This is bigger than one anniversary. The political and legal machinations that brought us to this point are a potential blueprint for others who seek to betray the public trust, take something the public loves, run dark money through it, sell access, and make sure the details are hidden from public scrutiny. It worked this time. We can't allow it to happen again. For the next government program, the next fund, the next thing that's supposed to work for all of us to be exploited and misused this way. That's why we have to confront this grift and corruption right now. We laid out in meticulous detail how it happened, not to tell you what to think about America's 250th anniversary, but so you'd know what they've done in our name, so that you have the facts to decide for yourself whether it's acceptable. 2 days from now, Americans of all walks of life will gather to celebrate our 250th anniversary. It's a moment for all of us to reflect on what this country stands for and who it belongs to. 250 years ago, our founders made a statement that America belongs to the people, not to powerful tyrants. We think America still belongs to all of us, to you, and we will fight to keep it that way.
Now we arrive at allegations involving Trump's Freedom 250 project. If anyone is accused of misusing taxpayer money or committing fraud, the standard shouldn't change because they're politically powerful.
Allegations require evidence, investigations, and, if warranted, legal action, not social media verdicts.
Democracy only works when accountability applies equally to billionaires, presidents, and everyone else. Otherwise, justice starts looking like a VIP lounge. And that's the cold truth on Code Blue in America, only on OGM News. The headlines may change, but our commitment to following the facts remains the same.
We'll keep monitoring every twist, every challenge, and every political showdown, because accountability belongs to the people, not to any party.
Don't forget to follow and subscribe and help us reach that 1 million follower milestone. More breaking news and analysis are coming up right after the break.
All right, friends, here's the deal. We need your support to level up our game. How can you help? Simple. Like, share, and drop a comment. Shower us with your love, your applause, or even your brutally honest displeasure. We can take it, we promise. Your feedback fuels us, even if it stings a little. And before you dash off, go ahead and smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Stay awesome, stay witty, and we'll see you next time. OGM News, we hold